Well, good morning. There's best I could do to try to get both me and Dottie in the picture. I'm kind of cut off, but you probably rather see Dottie anyway. Can you see Dottie there? It's hard for me to tell. I think I got to go down further. Oh, I think she's there. I hope she's there. I can't tell because the screen is too small for me to see, but I know you want to see Dottie more than you want to see me. So anyway, another errand video. What I got going today is I got to do laundry. So I'm going, and I need to go to Walmart again. Yes. The printer that I have is just, it was cheap. It's lasted me a few years and it's just not working anymore. So I have to pick up a new printer. And so I'm going to be doing that at Walmart, and I'm going to be doing laundry. And I decided to do that in Carlsbad, um, which is still, I talk about Eddy County. And yesterday I had guessed that Artesia was the county seat. Orongo, it's Carlsbad. And it's the, Carlsbad Caverns, which I've never been to, but I'm going to go. And trust me, I'm going to take you with me. The filming in national parks is now allowed, so we're going to have a great day at Carlsbad Caverns National Park. Maybe this week. I don't know for sure, but maybe this week. So that's what's going on, and I'll flip this thing around when I get it in the outskirts of Carlsbad, so you can see that. Well, here we are in Carlsbad. Just passing the Carlsbad Ford dealer. Coming up on 8th Street here. We're going to turn on 8th Street. And right here on the corner of 8th Street is a Lowe's. It's like a hospital on the left. And we're going to go down here a little less than a mile to Church Street where the laundromat is. And we're going to quick put stuff in the washer, zip over to Walmart, get my printer, and zip back in time to, hopefully just in time to put stuff in the dryer. It's got the school speed limit going on today, and it is Sunday. Unusual, but this guy's going to take no chances. It's Carlsbad High School. It looks like a pretty big place. It looks seriously big. Wow. Big gates going in there. We have found Church Street. Four-way stop here. And a mile and a half. And the laundry's going to be on our left here. Full parking lot at the church. That makes sense. It's 11 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, so that makes a lot of sense. Well, you can, another big church, now we know why it's called Church Street. There are big churches on this street. Half a mile to go. Nice neighborhood. Attractive looking little homes here. This is looks like maybe another school on the left here. We'll see. Pretty impressive architecture, whatever it is. Looks like a company. It's a school, Carlsbad Intermediate School. Wow, it's pretty huge too. I guess they take their school seriously in Carlsbad, New Mexico. And I see right up here Carlsbad Laundry. Right up here on the left. And that's where we're gonna go. Pretty busy today. It is Sunday. You know, people need to work and such. Well, there's no parking spaces here. Well, I guess I can go across the street here where that guy's parked. It'll be a little bit of a squeeze here, but I can do it. And I'll be back. All right. Dottie, we have 41 minutes to get to Walmart, get her stuff, and get back here. But I'm not too worried about it. There were like plenty of open washers. So I'm not worried about being a few minutes late. No one's going to be concerned. There were a ton of washers. And I used one of those, you know, fairly big ones, not the side loaders. And it was $3.50 for the max settings, the max heat, and the max hot. And just it was $3 base, and then an extra 50 cents for the extra settings. That's pretty good. Like I said, I really like these little houses that I see all over. Actually, all over Eddy County. I guess you'd call those bungalows. They're real small, nice houses. Look at there's a stone one right there. It looks really neat. I don't know if that's just a facade or whether that's real stone. Probably just a facade. All right, and I guess I have the right of way. I'm guessing. I don't know. They seem to be waiting for me. There's an Albertsons. I like Albertsons. Oh, you know what? I needed to make a right here. So I think, if I'm careful, I can squeeze over here. Hopefully, I can do the right turn. Probably a right turn from the left lane. It's probably not completely kosher, so hopefully I won't get in trouble. 2.5 miles to the Wally Market. Is this like maybe a downtown area? Carlsbad kind of looks that way, doesn't it? Discover Carlsbad Scenic Driving Tour. We'll have to do that too someday, just not today. The Eddy County Courthouse is on the left there. Look at this place. War, Axe, batting cages, parties, events, axes, arcades, rage room. I don't know what the heck a rage room is. I don't think I want to go in there though. There's the old city hall on the left there. So it's showing 95 degrees, another hot day in southern New Mexico. It's going to cool down in the next couple of days though. Wendy's and look at this sign. McDonald's sign looks destroyed, half destroyed up there. The Mick is gone. It's just Donald's. Fillet of fish, 2 for $6. It's kind of a deal. The caverns are 28 miles from here, and 100 and something. That one you could see 100 and something to El Paso. So we're really close to Texas here. And, you know, I was thinking the other day, you know, how close are we to the Mexican border? So I'm looking on the map directly south and thinking that's where the Mexican border is going to be. And it's not. Why? Because if you go directly south from here, it's Texas. So you either go east or south, you're hitting Texas. And I did not realize that. Most of the southern border of New Mexico is north of Texas, because Texas kind of juts out there in shape, and there's just a small little piece in southwestern New Mexico that is actually on the Mexican border, but the majority is Texas border. All Sups, that's a convenience store, gas place all over New Mexico. There was one when I was last summer staying way out, kind of in the boonies in a state park. They had Amazon lockers there that really saved me. Oh, yellow light, yellow light. You know, it's just, I hate it when you're on the edge there and it's like if I hit the brake, I'm gonna screech to a halt. If yellow lights aren't long enough in my book. Probably someday they'll have cameras on everything, and any little mistake you make, you'll get a ticket in the mail. Mark my words, that's what's coming. Stagecoach Inn. are only almost a little over half mile. And a Howard Johnson's. When's the last time you saw a Howard Johnson's? You're my age, you grew up with those orange-topped restaurants, and now it's plenty of time for me to stop here. Those orange-topped restaurants and motels. I don't think I ever actually stayed in a Howard Johnson, but I certainly ate in them on road trips with my dad many, many times. So less than a half a mile up here on the right is the Wally Mart. Wally Mart. Got the Chevy dealer. Someone was asking me on the comments this morning, how much is gas in this area? Well, up here you see $2.95. Pretty consistent with what we were paying in Arizona. Make a right here. Slide into the back way to the Walmart, maybe. I think I went a little bit too soon. I wonder if I can get over there. This guy's maybe did the same thing I did. Know where to go, because I just went into the Hampton Inn instead of yeah, I'm gonna have to turn around. Too soon. Maybe I should pay attention to my GPS, where it was telling me exactly where I should be turning. You know, suddenly, it's all of a sudden, the traffic is really busy, and I realize why. It is, you know, a lot of churches are probably letting out, and these are people going home or going out to eat after church. I bet you anything that's what's going on here. And I bet a lot of people are going to Walmart after church. There's a bunch of little sheds over there. When I look at sheds, I see tiny homes. I would love to have a tiny home. You know, as a home base. Let's see what we got here. I went too far. I should have taken that spot back there. I don't think I'm going to find one up here. I'm not. I should have got one. The getting was good. Boy, well, I was going to... That lady's got a lot of stuff in her cart, but you can't see her. It was overflowing. Oh, there's a good spot right here, right here, Dottie. Right here. Okay, I will be back in a flash. Well, I'm back at the laundry. Walmart didn't go so well in terms of time. Everybody was going to Walmart after church because it was packed, and I found the printer right away. And I stood in line for probably 25 minutes to get to a register. So I was late getting back here, but like I said, there were tons of available washers, but dryers were a whole different thing. I barely found one. There was one available, and I got in there. So I've got about 25 minutes left, and I'm out of here. And you know what? I'm hesitating because I was going to do a separate video on this, but since I've got time and I'm sitting in the car, and I don't have a plan for this, or, you know, I don't go scripted or even outline, but I think, you know, having the surgery, which has gone so well for me, really caused me to start thinking more about the aging. You know, I'm 65. I think about aging. I think about aging as a nomad. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I think it's pretty obvious to all of us. And, you know, I'd say, according to the demographics of my channel, about 90% of you are my age or older. So I'm talking to you guys. I'm probably not going to say anything you haven't already talked about or don't already know. Things physically, things change as you get older, and usually not for the better. I gotta confess that up until very recently, this past year, I was coloring my eyebrows. Yeah, I was coloring my eyebrows because I didn't like the way the gray looked. And I had hesitated to grow a beard because I suspected it was going to come out partially gray. I had no idea it was going to be all gray. So I've since embraced my gray. I don't know what I was thinking about. There was even a couple of videos that was a little embarrassing. Somebody said, "What happened to your eyebrows? Did you do something to your eyebrows?" That's what would you call that? That's really pretty silly of me to do that. You know, what is the desire to? Is a desire to look younger? You know, but my rationalization was, I just don't like the way the gray looks, and you know, we know that's baloney. I think it was one of the ways I was fighting aging. And I think the hip replacement, the arthritis, it really brought home that this is who I am and this is the age that I am. And I need to be okay with that. And in fact, I am okay with it. Ideally, I would like my 20-year-old body with my 65-year-old experience in mind. But if I had to make a choice, I'd take 65. I've said before, and I'll say it again, if I look back over my life, where have I been the most content and at peace and happiest? It's right here, right now. Since I retired and since I've been doing the nomad life, this is the most content I've been. It's been physically the most challenging, and in some ways mentally challenging. I had an incident today where I made a mistake and harmed a friend of mine through making a mistake, and it wasn't intentional. It was cognitive. I'm not going to go into details about it, but I felt just awful. And it's a mistake I wouldn't have made when I was a little bit sharper. You combine a little bit of, I would call it a little bit of decline in concentration and focus, isn't what it used to be with me. And I miss things that I wouldn't have missed years ago. And that's a source of frustration and sometimes embarrassment for me. but as I said, this is the best part of my life, and I wonder, how long can this last? How long can I do this nomad life? And it was really, these ladies that I camped with in Quartzsite, they were all pretty much, for the most part, over 70 and thriving in the lifestyle. Every one of us has our own physical challenges, but everyone is embracing and participating in the life. So that says, hey, and I ran into people, viewers of the channel that I've met in their 80s that are out and doing it. So it's not the end. This is the end. This is the beginning, and I feel pretty good about it. One of the things I think about often is when I was about 14, I was some friends of my parents came to visit, and they were golfers. The male part of the couple was a golfer, and he had a brand new set of Ping golf clubs. It was a big deal back then. It was in the 70s, and they were really expensive golf clubs. And he offered to let me take one and take a swing, and I did. It was out out in the yard, and I took a swing with this golf club, and his reaction was, wow, I really miss. He was probably about my age now, maybe a little older, maybe about 70. And he said, wow, I really miss that limberness that you have, Robert. And it didn't mean anything too much to me then, but it means a lot to me now. I know exactly what he was talking about, that fluidity of muscles and range of motion. And when you're young, you don't appreciate it because you don't know anything different, right? You don't know what it's like to be different. So I've been, for some reason, that little story has been bopping through my head. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about aging. I guess I wanted to get my thoughts out about it, where I'm embracing it more, and I'll take the bad with the good. I'll take the breakdown of the body with the soaring of the spirit. And that's really what I describe. What's happening to me is my spirit's soaring, my body's slowing down a little bit. But if I had a choice, I really embrace that soaring of the spirit. And that's it. And that's going to be today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And you have stuff to say about aging in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.